Let's get started. Okay. So the objectives today, inshallah, what are we trying to accomplish today? We're going to review what Salesforce is. So we'll do a quick Salesforce overview. We're going to review the idea of customer relationship management, CRM. We're going to learn the new concept, right? Three important concepts today: app, tab, and S object, right? So these are the foundations of Salesforce. Understanding what an app is, understanding what a tab is, and understanding what a Salesforce object is. Okay. And we've already created the Salesforce developer account. So we're going to go ahead and create our first custom application. Okay. Since we've already created an account, we're going to actually create our first application, inshallah, today. Okay. Review Salesforce. Can anybody go ahead and tell me from last time what Salesforce is based on their understanding? What is Salesforce?
Um, uh, Salesforce is a cloud-based software which we are using to improve, which helps in a business like customer and.
Uh-huh. And what is it? What does it mean? What does that mean? What does cloud-based mean?
Sorry.
What is you said it exactly right. You said it's a cloud-based software, right? So what does the idea cloud-based mean?
It's a software, basically, I think.
No, you're right. You're right. But what does cloud-based mean? Why is that important? Cloud-based.
Because we can make it a streamline, like sales, marketing, customer, everything. It is a
Exactly.
kind of CRM. It's a customer relation management. We can by this software, I think we can improve the business.
Right. 100%. Right. So she said it exactly as it is. Right. It's a streamlined, cloud-based, use as you see fit model. Right. You can use it for marketing. You can use it for managing data. You can use it for tracking leads. You can use it for all those things that I just said, or you can use it for one of those things that I said, right? You use exactly what you need, and based on what you need is based on what you play, right? It's use as you go type software. So essentially, like the sister was saying, Salesforce is a cloud-based software that helps organizations to effectively streamline their sales and marketing operations, right? It's all-in-one operations. Prior to Salesforce, companies would have a software specifically for marketing, right? Or some would have a different software for data operations, right? Or people would keep their sheets, their data sheets in Excel sheets, right? It was very messy. It was very time consuming, and it wasn't available as needed, right? So that's where Salesforce comes in and kind of takes care of that problem, right? Not only can you do your marketing and do your customer relationships and do all that stuff, but you can also keep track of data, right? And you can also print out reports, and you can do all that in one application, right? So that's what Salesforce is so effective, because you're allowed to do multiple things under one application. Okay. Today, Salesforce is the number one customer relationship management in the world, right? Again, remember last time I was talking about Monday.com, Heroku, right? A couple other ones that you might hear. All of them are great, but all of them are very limited in what they can offer, right? Some are really good at customer management. Some are really good at marketing. Some are really good at data management, right? Salesforce is good at everything, right? Data management, marketing, tracking leads, following up on leads, you name it. Salesforce is essentially covering that basis, right? Companies use it for marketing, sales, commerce, service, and collaboration, right? So the last part is very important as well. Collaboration. What does it mean? Like, you can work with different people on a team, right? So, for example, Nike, they'll have their marketing people, they'll have their sales people, they'll have their engineers, right? They'll have their data analysts. All those can work together under one umbrella. The umbrella being Salesforce, right? Making everybody's job easier, being able to communicate with whoever. And finally, it offers organizations easy access to web-based software over the internet. So again, very easy access. You use as you go. You pay what you need, right? My need as a small company will be much different than, for example, Nike's need, right? So you pay for what you need, and you use it based on the on what your company is and on the criteria. And either way, even the highest price of Salesforce, right, is very affordable. Is very doable for companies, right? For $1 billion company, if you're only paying $625 a month, give or take, right? That's a pretty good deal. So that's why Salesforce is so popular, because it's affordable and it's an all-in-one platform that allows you to do, like I said, marketing, customer service, sales, data management, you name it, it allows you to do it, essentially. Does anybody have any questions quickly about what Salesforce is, or would like to add anything about Salesforce?
No, not no question about Salesforce, but I do have question. And you
Go
know,
ahead.
just whenever you have a chance, I want to make sure I have the right account, which is the developer, because remember last time I was working on a different. Um, so whenever we have when we get to that point, please, I want to make sure I share screen and you let me know.
Okay, inshallah, sounds good. Okay, now to the idea of a CRM, right? A customer relationship management. All right, CRM. What is CRM, right? Marketing, sales, and service all put together in one, right? So a system that essentially allows you, to market your product, sell your product, and provide service to your customers within your product, right? The job isn't over, right? Like, for example, people think once you sell the product, or once you market the product and you sell the product, you're done. No, that's not how it works, right? You have to still be able to provide a service. So if something breaks down or something is not to the customer's satisfaction, they're able to contact the company, right, or yourself, in order to get that fixed, right? So again, what does Salesforce allow you to do? It gives you not only information to that customer, but it gives the customer information to you. And anytime your product isn't working or something is not to their liking, you're able to contact them, or they're able to contact you, right? So the goal of CRM, right? Retain the existing customers and grab new customers into your business, right? It's very important. For example, with companies such as like Alarm.com or We Control, right? They're usually done on a yearly basis, right? You sign up for a yearly service, right? Within the year service, you have like once a month. For example, Alarm.com, you're gonna pay for their alarm. I don't know, let's say $40 a month for a year, right? Within that month, as the company, you have it's on you to impress them. It's on you to show them that, okay, we deserve your business, and not only do we deserve your business, we value your business, right? Any question that you may have, any problems that may arise, and even if no problems arise, right, it's always good to follow up with them. Be like, oh, is everything okay? We appreciate your service, right? So what Salesforce does is it automatically sends out messages to the customers, that are or to your clientele, to let them know, thank you for being a customer, right? Do you have any questions? Do you have any problems? You can reach out to so and so, right? That way, that you might, for example, if you're a big company like Alarm.com that has millions of customers, right? It's going to be hard for the salesperson to remember every customer that he's successfully put on his radar, right? It's going to be really hard to do that. So that's where Salesforce comes in, by bringing in automatic messages, right? You program the system. Okay, every month on this day of the month, make sure we do a thank you message, or we do an update message, right? Or if we don't hear from a customer, make sure that we follow up on them. There's certain formulas, and inshallah, once we get to that, you'll learn, that you can play with, right? The engineers can play with, that allow, like, automatically on the 27th of the month, all the customers are gonna have, a message come to them, right? So something of that extent. And finally, how to retain the existing customer, just like anything else we do, right? If you provide good customer service, chances are people are gonna stay with you, right? If you provide bad customer service, there's many other options out there. Every industry has tons and tons of competition, right? So the idea that the Salesforce does a lot of that marketing for you, the follow up emails for you, really just keeps you in contact with the customer that you've just created, goes a long way, right? Because you're, from the customer's perspective, they don't know that This is just a automation email, right? They think that essentially the account executive is reaching out to them personally and he cares about it, right? Salesforce does that, right? It brings that personal tone, personal message, and make sure that you're always in communication with every customer that you currently have, right? In an effort to retain them when time comes to renew the contract. Any questions around CRM? Everybody understand the idea of what a CRM is?
Y-
Customer. Yes, brother Nadir.
yes, brother. If I'm so sorry. So you talk a little fast. If you can go slowly a little bit.
Yes, I will, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Is there anything that about the CRM concept you didn't understand?
No, for me, I'm good. But
Just
just
I
so
have
okay.
a question.
Mhm.
Okay, go
Uh,
ahead, my sister.
uh, it's like as you told me, it's a goal of CRM, like retain and existing customer and grab the new customer into our business. Means do we like in the CRM? Does company uh, uh, introduce the product or what else?
Yeah, so that's a good question, right? So yeah, so company is introducing the product based on what the marketing, right? So we're doing the marketing, we're reaching out to clients. For example, how are we finding clients? There's databases, right? So if somebody's bought a similar product or somebody's in a certain type of database, Salesforce is able to locate that, right? And then we're able to reach out. So that's more on the salesperson's job, right? The salesperson has to research the market, see who's a hot customer, see who's a potential lead, right? And follow up on that. And they use that based on different algorithms, different technologies. And Salesforce really does a good job in helping, right? In that sense, okay, so and so has bought this type of product from a different company, right? Go ahead and reach out to them, right? So that information is collected by the salesperson. He or she then will schedule a meeting with this person, pitch the product. It's either yay or nay, right? So either the person's interested in learning more or they're not. If they're interested in learning more, they'll pitch a follow up meeting, right? In which they'll really try to sell. The first meeting is usually about introducing the product or seeing why your company is a good fit for them, right? For their needs, right? Second one, if they say yes, they want to continue on potentially. That's where you try to sell the product to them, right? That's where you say, okay, so you're paying X amount. If you join us, you're gonna pay less, or you might pay more, but you're gonna gain more, right? You're gonna have more benefits, or you're gonna have more bang for your buck, right? For example. So that's on the salesperson. But again, Salesforce makes it easy because it's an easy place to just store all the databases, all the potential leads, market, right? You can create flyers on Salesforce, right? You can create emails, right?
Okay, by
You,
the using of I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you.
no, no, no. You're fine. You're fine. Absolutely.
By the information of customers data, we
Yes.
could come to know that what customer has interesting in which thing, like which product.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yeah. You
Um,
know, you're absolutely correct. Yeah.
can I make
Okay.
this a little easier? Because I know also Nadir is a little confused about this. Can you give them or give us like a life where we live? Say, for example,
Yeah.
banking. I know we are few people from banking, or internet, like a life example.
Of how it would work in real life, for example.
Yeah, say for example,
Uh-huh.
using the CRM, for example, working as say at the bank, if someone goes open an account, they keep like we represent for them the products, and then
Mm-hmm.
they sell the product. We keep their information. We try to get as much information as we can, and for potential referral, when you say leads, a lot of other people they don't understand these, especially if they were never on like in sales department.
Uh-huh.
So to generate, we try to generate referrals, which is say
Yes.
one client bring he's satisfied with the transaction, with the customer service, everything, so he will give us, bring us other people, family or friends, so that counts as referral. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
that's lead. So yeah, like that's an a good example of the CRM.
Absolutely, yeah. So essentially, I think what the sister is asking is, how does this work in real life, right? Well, how can we give an example of this in real life? So, for example, right, if you are a sales associate and you're selling, I don't know, let's say, yeah, let's say a car, right? You're working in a car dealership, right? What are some ways that you're gonna get a lead? Right? What are some obvious ways you can get a lead? One being, right, if somebody walks into the dealership looking for a car, right? But say that doesn't happen, right? Say your boss is requiring you other ways to get leads outside of just people walking into a car dealership and looking for a car. What are some other ways that you can potentially get leads, right? You can look at, like, for example, if you work at Chevy, right, you can look at the Chevy database and see anybody that's ever bought Chevy living in your city, right? So that this goes a little bit more outside of on the salesperson, right? He or she digs up the data, finds out, okay, all these people have bought a Chevy. For example, so and so bought a Chevy 10 years ago. Let me go ahead and call them. See, it's the end of the year. We have good deals going on. Let me go ahead and call them. Right. Other people can look at, okay, so and so recently bought Chevy, and they put as one of their emergency contracts, or as one of their, yeah, emergency contracts, their parents or their siblings, right? So that's how they get information like that. So that can be a potential lead, right? Or you can look at a Facebook page and see, if you advertise on Facebook, see who responded to that ad, right? So putting the ad out there, and finding those leads, that's on the salesperson, right? How Salesforce helps with that is it's a okay. So okay, once you identify whatever the lead is, okay, so like the brother of a former customer, right, or the neighbor of a former customer, something like that, right? Then you collect that information, you put it into Salesforce, and you store it, right? And based on certain criteria, right, based on certain algorithms, so and so could be a good fit, right? So people are always putting in potential leads all the time into the Salesforce system, into any system, right? Into any customer system, people are always putting in potential leads, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're good for that certain product, right? So if somebody bought a car a year ago, chances are they're going to be in the system, but they're probably not going to buy a car in another car in a year, right? Versus somebody that's bought a car 5, 6, 7 years ago, they're going to be in the system, right? But they would potentially be a good person to buy a car right now because it's been a while since they bought a new car, right? Or trade their car in, or whatever the case may be, right? So that's not necessarily your job as to identify where the leads are coming from. It's more your job to be able to know that how to store them, how to connect them, and necessarily create data reports on them, but not necessarily to gather them, right? That's more on the Salesforce. And if you have a sales understanding, like whether it's in banking or whether it's in marketing, whatever it is, you'll get the idea of how you get leads and what's the best way of going about getting leads. But essentially, that's what people do, right? They do their research. They look at previous data. They look at previous records. They use other third-party sources such as Facebook, such as other Mailchimp, right? Other marketing sources, and they track, right? They track the interest. They see who's interested in buying a certain product. Do that reach out, and then enter that information essentially into Salesforce. Does that make sense? As far as how people create leads.
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
that's awesome. All right. So now here is where we, inshallah, are going to get into the new stuff today, right? These are the three key stuff, and every Salesforce person needs to know, right? App, tab, and S object, right? So the first one, app. What is an app? Who can, off the top of their head, who can tell me what they think when they hear the word app? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word app?
App launcher.
Application.
So, yeah, don't necessarily think from it from a Salesforce perspective, just in general.
Company logo.
Company logo, sure. Okay. What else?
About application. Do you think it can be application?
An application, yeah, that's what it is, right? So what is it though? Like, okay, that's what it means, right? But what is it? What is an application? How is it useful? When do you use an application? Can somebody give me an example of an application?
You use it like as a form and system to be knowing by how to uh, the rest of the other can be used it as a method.
Say it one more time, sister.
Yes. First thing, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is my first time with you guys.
Oh,
Um,
so welcome, welcome.
thank you so much. Is application that it can have a method how to use it and a program for certain of things as a Salesforce and different kind of app as like WhatsApp and Telegram and all this kind of other, I believe everything it has a certain of way how to use it in this application.
That's exactly what I was looking for, right? That's the definition I was looking for, right? It provides a functionality, right? An application is something that provides a functionality, right? So, for example, if you go on your phone, right, you have what? How many apps do you have? I'm gonna look at my phone right now and see just quickly the type of apps that I have downloaded on my phone, right? So what I see right away? I see WhatsApp, I see Bank of America, I see Uber, I see the Outlook app, I see Waze, right? I see Remind app, I see a FanDuel, for example. I see a Google Meets app, right? These are all applications, right? These are all the apps or services that provide some sort of functionality for me to make my life easier, right? If I want to go ahead and
Yeah.
buy, if I want to go ahead, for example, find out how to get to Columbia, Maryland, right? Because I want to go meet a friend, I'm going to use the Waze app, right? If I want to buy new shoes, I'm going to go onto my Adidas app, right? If I want to check my email, I'm going to go to my Outlook app, right? If I want to check the scores, right, for the basketball game that's happening, I'm gonna go ahead and click on my ESPN app, right? So again, applications they provide a certain type of functionality, right? An all-in-one systems designed for a specific cause, right? So that we have millions and millions of apps, and within Salesforce itself, right? There, you can go ahead and download a Salesforce. Like if you go to the Google Play Store or you go to you go to the Google Play Store or you go to the Apple Play Store, right? You can download Salesforce, right? It's one of those apps. But within Sales, there's apps, right? So, for example, same thing with Nike, right? You go to Nike, and within Nike, you have the sales app, right? Then you might have the basketball app specific for basketball, right? You might have the football app, right? Nike football app is different, right? So you have apps within apps, right? So the official definition of an application, right? It's a group of service which provides some functionality, right? Remember that, right? It serves a purpose, right? The Waze app allows me to find directions so that I can go from place A to place B, right? The Nike app allows me to buy Nike products, right? The Yahoo Mail app allows me to open up Yahoo, right, and access all the features Yahoo has, right? It is, or another definition, it is a group of tabs which provides some functionality, and we're going to talk about tabs in a bit, right? There are two types of apps in Salesforce. Okay, there's the standard app. Okay, and again, this applies for everything. There's two type of objects, for example, right? Two types of tabs, and they're called either custom or standard, right? The standard is given by Salesforce. So remember, these are things that you never touched, the developer never touches, right? Once you create a Salesforce account, they're automatically provided by Salesforce for you. Just by creating an account, you're automatically getting access to these apps, right? These include what? Marketing, sales, service. So let me go ahead and show you that, right? I want you guys to see it. Uh, okay. So if I go on my app launcher, right? This thing over here, all these apps, you see marketing. Let me just click on view all. So currently I haven't created any custom app, right? I only have standard apps. Meaning, one more time, right? If somebody asks you the definition of standard versus custom, standard means apps that were created by Salesforce, right? Apps that were already there given to you. So this app, community app, created by Salesforce, right? Marketing app, created by Salesforce. Service app, same idea, right? You can go ahead and, even in your account, go ahead and play around with them, see how they look, right? So all apps essentially will look the same, right? They'll have different functionalities, but they'll look the same, right? And within them, these are the tabs, right? And we'll talk about that in a second. But I want you guys to just go ahead and look at the various apps, various standard apps that Salesforce has, right? So one of the questions on the exam, the admin certification exam might be, What's the difference between a standard app and a custom app, right? It's a very easy question. Can anybody tell me what's the difference between standard and custom?
Standard made by Salesforce.
Mm-hmm.
Custom. Someone's make it.
Yeah. So custom is created by someone, right? Versus standard is ones that are given by Salesforce. So I want you to remember that. I want everybody to really understand the concept because, like, as people have taken this class before, we talk a lot about standard versus custom, right? Whether it comes to objects, whether it comes to tabs, right? Whether it comes to even page layouts, right? There's standard page layouts, there's custom page layouts. All it means, right? Standard means Salesforce created it, you had nothing to do with it. It's just something that's given to you just based on you signing up, right? You have access to it. Once you sign up, boom, automatically you have access to it. Custom, you create it, right? You design it, right? You play around with it. You're the one, Salesforce doesn't have anything to do with it, right? It's only hosted on the Salesforce platform, right? But the way it's designed, the way it looks, the way you manipulate it, it's on you, right? It's on the user, it's on the developer, right? Biggest difference between custom and standard, inshallah, right? So please don't get confused from that, right? And again, you're gonna hear a lot about custom versus standard, right? So there are the two type of apps: standard given by Salesforce, for example, marketing, sales, service, content. Okay, custom app, right? Is created by the developer. So in a bit, really soon actually, we're gonna create an ImpactTek app, right? That would be a custom app because we created it. Like for example, if we had a company called America Online and we created an app for them, that's a custom app, right? We created it, right? So anything that we create for our service, for ourselves, or for our business, or for our clientele, is a custom app, right? So just remember that. Examples of software applications, right? So these are, again, if you go into the app launcher, these are all the different things that you can potentially see, right? You can see like email, you can see a music app, you can see password app, right? So all things within the app launcher, right? So these are some of the more popular ones. Salesforce is always adding on. Remember, I told you there's two different type of editions of Salesforce. You have the spring, summer, and winter, right? So every year, every season, minute changes are being made, and some of those changes include the apps, right? They add apps, they take away apps, they see ones that are used, some ones that are not used. So those are the little things that Salesforce likes to play around with, right? People are okay. All right. Okay. Now, okay. Here is what important stuff. Okay. Tab, right? It connects to some other page. Using tab, we can access the S object. So the plural name of an S object is tab, right? So does everybody understand what plural is? What the word plural means? Singular versus plural?
More than one.
Yeah, right. So for example, if you have contact, right? Is that plural or singular?
Singular.
Singular, right? And plural contacts is what?
Plural.
Plural, right? So remember, plural is called the tab, right? Singular is the S object. There are two types. Again, standard and custom, right? Again, so let me show you how this works in the Salesforce, right? I want to make sure you guys understand how it works in application, right? So when you go into any app, right, you're gonna have tabs within any apps. Let's just go into any of the standard apps that we have, right? Let's click on marketing, for example. Okay. So within marketing, we have how many tabs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So for example, if it was campaign, that is what? That is an S object, right? Campaigns is the tab, right? The plural is the tab. The singular is the object. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Makes okay. And if it doesn't make sense, let me know, right? So like in English, in the English language, right? You have a singular and you have a plural, right?
Yes.
You have one and then you have multiple, right? When you have multiple, it becomes a tab, right? When it's if it's a campaign by itself, right? If it's just campaign by itself, that's an S object, right? when you add it as a with the S, that becomes a tab. So
Right.
that's it. That's the only difference, right? So let me show you the singular version of it. So if you go here, you go back to setup, right? Remember I told you how useful this button will be. So you go back to setup. Okay, you go to object manager. I want you guys to notice something. What do you notice? Asset, right? Sorry. Contact. Are these singular or plural? Are the objects singular or plural? Coupon, singular, right? So are they objects or tabs?
Objects.
Okay. So once it becomes coupons, what does it become?
Tab.
Does everybody understand? That's probably
I'm sorry. Brother, can you repeat the last one?
absolutely right. So what I'm trying to say, right? Tabs and objects are the same thing. The only difference between a tab and an object is that the tab becomes plural, right? So you see how right now it's contact, right? You see how it's contact?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, contract, right? You see how it's contract
Yes.
or contact, which whatever, right? Contact, contracts. These are object, right? As soon as you add an S to it, it becomes what?
It becomes a tab.
It becomes a tab. That's it, right? So if somebody asks you a difference between an object and a tab, you will tell them that the object is singular, right? And the tab is
Yes.
plural, right? Multiple.
So if you go back
Yes.
to the tabs, for example, give us an example over there.
Yes, exactly. So look over here, right? It says contract, right? You see this how it says contract, right? If you want to put it into if you want to put it into an application, it's gonna look like something like this. So let's put on marketing. You see this campaigns, leads, contacts,
I see
right?
now. Yeah.
Opportunities, reports. Because there's usually you're gonna have more than one opportunity, right? You're gonna have more than one contact in your data system, right? You're gonna have more than one report. You're gonna have more than one dashboard, right? So that's why it becomes a what? Tab, right? You have multiple. See, like the definition says, you have multiple.
Yeah,
Tab,
I see
right?
now.
Does that make sense, sister?
Now makes sense. Now makes
Okay, inshallah. So that's that. We're gonna go into the S objects and we're gonna create the S objects like a very. It's coming, right? Very momentarily. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah, no, you're fine.
I was trying to delete the old ImpactTek app that I have and another app that I have.
Hmm.
I'm in the section in the app launcher.
You're in the app launch. Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to be able to right click and delete it, but it's not allowing me to do that.
It's not allowing you. Oh, yeah, because you've probably created relationships and then all that, right? So the best thing what to do was to use a different email and create and start brand new. That's what I did too. So the email that I used previously for the last class, I'm not using the same one. I'm using a different email. So that way I can start everything from scratch.
But it does have the option to delete apps. We don't
Yeah,
have.
no, you can, but then you'll have to go back and remember delete all the different type of relationships and stuff like that. It becomes a very long and tedious process. Because especially if you've connected different objects and you have many to many relationships or you have one to many relationships, like all the stuff that we did previously.
Mhm.
Yeah, Salesforce wants to make sure that that you're really trying to delete everything, right? So you have to delete everything individually. So if you can, it's best to use a different email and just start from the scratch. And create those objects, right? It's good to practice creating S objects from scratch.
I understand that, but
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but yeah, you would have to delete.
I'm sorry. I think there's an option to just delete the entire app altogether in the app launcher.
Yes, but yeah, you can, but it won't let you only if you don't. It will only let you if you don't have any like many to many any type of relationship. If none of the objects are connected in any way, so you would have to go and delete each object individually before you can do that. If they're connected,
Can you do me a favor, please? Can you go in the app launcher, please?
Yeah, I'm gonna go there. Actually, just give me 1 second after I finish this. I just have to go over objects, and then I'm gonna go there with you guys.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So just real quick, right? Tab, it connects to some other page. Using tabs, you can access the S object, right? Plural name of an S object is a tab name. Tabs are two types, right? Same as we were talking about earlier, standard and custom, right? Standard tab given by Salesforce, for example, campaigns, leads, accounts, contacts, opportunities, etc., right? Custom tab is created by the developer, right? The one we're going to create, employees, courses, bills, trainers, doctors, etc. These are things, okay? So if I was to go into my object manager, right? Let me go back, setup. So this is, again, I told you, a brand new account, right? So I've never messed with it, done nothing with it, right? Let me see if I can find employee, right? Let me see if I can find employee. It doesn't exist, right? Because I need to create it, right? Can I find courses? Course. Nope. Can I find instructor, for example? Right, we're going to create an app for ImpactTek that's going to have an instructor, right? That's going to have the various courses, right? That's going to have the various student, right? So none of these things I can find. Why can't I find any of these things under Object Manager?
Because they haven't been developed. They haven't
They
been.
haven't been developed, right? So these are going to be what, custom objects or standard objects?
They'll be custom.
Exactly, right? Because we need to go ahead and develop them. Okay. Does everybody understand the difference between custom and standard for when it comes to tabs?
So standard is what Salesforce provides, and custom is what we develop.
Yeah, but do you understand from a tab perspective as well? No, you said the definition perfectly, right? But do you understand from a tab? You see, like if I was to type in campaigns, you think that will show up? So like, let me go back. If I was to type in
that is standard.
Yeah. So do you think it's going to show up?
Yes.
Who thinks it's going to show up?
It will show up because it's standard.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah. See. You see why this showed up? Does everybody see why this showed up? Why this showed up? Campaign, lead, account, contact. Why these showed up versus why when I tried to type in, right? I tried to type in course, I couldn't find it. I tried to type in employee and student. This is very important. Does people do you understand that? I know, sister. I'm used to this.
This is me, Faiza. I'm lost. Anyone else? I'm lost. Nadia.
Yeah, please. Yeah, let me know. This is very important.
Nadia.
I think you just need to just give some examples and slow down.
Yes. Yes. So this is very important, right? So these tabs, right, are standard tabs: campaigns, leads, accounts, contacts, and opportunities, right, sister? Standard meaning that they come with Salesforce. So once you sign up for the accounts, Salesforce are already going to provide these objects for you, right? So if I go, right, sister, are you following along?
Yes. I got that part.
Right. So if I go to Object Manager, right, and I type in, let me just go. Yeah. Let me set up. Okay, Object Manager, right? Let me click on Object Manager, and I'm going to type in all these ones, right? I'm going to type in. So let me just copy and paste it, right, for the sake of time, right?
Okay.
Yeah, campaign, right? It should show up, right? Because why? It's a what? It's a what type of tab or an object? It's a what type of object?
It's a tab. We
Yeah,
said
but what
it's
type?
tab. It's plural.
No. Is it a standard or custom?
Standard.
Standard. So it should show up, right?
Standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should show up, right? Campaign, boom,
Yes.
right here, right? Let me go to the next. Let me go to the next one. Lead. Okay, let me just type in lead. LEAD, right? Boom, right? Shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do two more. Account and contact, right? Both of them should show up, right?
Yes.
Account. Yep, and contact.
Okay.
Okay, it's showing up. Why? Because it's standard and Salesforce automatically gives them to you, right?
Okay.
You don't create them. You don't do anything with it. You can obviously add them to your app if you need them.
Okay.
But it's standard, right? You don't do anything with them as far as creating them.
Okay.
Now over here, this is the part, right? If I type in student, right? For example, look, if I type in student, sorry, student, right? If I type in student, why
No,
is this not showing up? Why?
because it's not built yet. It's not made yet. It's not
Right?
definite,
Yeah,
right?
it's not what? What's the keyword? It's not a what type of object?
It's a
It's not a
custom.
standard.
It's not standard.
It's not a standard
Custom.
object, right? Yeah, I heard that too, right? It's a custom object, right? It's something that we as the developer need to create based on our requirements, right? If we're creating an app for a training organization like ImpactTek, right? We need something called students to track our student database, right? So we need to create it ourselves, right? Salesforce isn't going to give us that. Obviously, we can also keep it under contact, but does it make more sense to keep student information under student or under contact? What does it
Students.
make? Right, it's more
Student.
specific, right? Yeah, it's more specific. It makes more sense. It's easier to navigate, right? So we need to create that, right? So like a couple more examples, right? If I type in any of this, Bill, trainer, doctor, actor, right? If I have a film studio, Nike. If I'm Nike and I want to have a database to track all my athletes that are assigned to me, like Kyrie Irving, whoever, right? I can create those based on me, but Salesforce isn't going to create that for me, right? It might just have it will have a generic one which says contact, right? I can if I'm Nike, I can put all my athletes that are signed by me under contacts, right? But that doesn't make sense, right? It's not specific. It's very vague, right? In long term, you'll see why it's actually a bad practice, right? The more specific you are, the better you are long term, right? The better it's easy to access information when you have thousands and thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of records, right? If you're the more specific you are, the easier it is to track that data, and it's easier it is to make sense of that data when you give it over to your data analysts, right? To make sense of that data, right? So it's a good practice to be as specific as possible and create tabs and objects based on what you need, right? Obviously, campaigns, leads, accounts, these are things that, everybody would potentially need. Anybody in sales will need them, right? But if you want to be specific to your companies, then okay, if I'm a training company, I might have students, right? If I'm a athletic company, I might have athletes, right? If I'm a doctor's office, I might have bills. I might have doctors, right? Specific doctors who work for me, right? Again, based on what you need. Salesforce allows you to customize it. That's why it's the number one CRM in the world, right? It's based on what you need, right? You're gonna hear that a lot. Based on what you need, you get in what you put out. Simple as that. All right, let's inshallah. Let's go on to S object. Okay. Again, I already talked a lot about S object. Can somebody please tell me the difference between an S object and a tab? What's the difference between a Salesforce object and a tab? When does an object become a tab?
When it's plural.
When it's plural, right? So essentially, S object, right? It is a place where we can store the organization's information permanently. Okay, it's nothing but a database table, right? It's a huge Excel sheet. You guys look at this, for example. Um,
Brother Muhammad, can you make your screen bigger, please?
yes, I am. I want to show you something before. I'm gonna go
Thank
into Excel, right? Is everybody familiar with Excel?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Okay. So to be honest, I don't know. Um, let's see. I really don't want to put anybody's information out there, but okay. All right. For example, right. So let's just do this. So this is one of the employees of Sunday school, right? So in an Excel sheet, right? These are the days. These are the tabs, right? These are the days that she works or that she could potentially work, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? So any day he or she works, right? You put in that information, right? It's a big database. So on Thursday, for example, on the 11th, let's say she worked 5 hours, right? So I'm gonna put in my information. So you're essentially you're doing the same thing in a Salesforce, right? You're putting in information based on the certain criteria, right? So on Thursday, she worked 5 hours. I'm gonna put in 5 hours, right? On Sunday, she worked in 7 hours, right? And then say the 8/24/2022, she worked in 7 hours, right? So on the back end, I've created a formula that allows me right away to calculate. You see how it's changing, right? So look at this. And this is what we're gonna do too. It's an even more powerful Excel sheet. Salesforce is a more powerful Excel sheet, right? So right now, look, I'm gonna delete all the information, right? So how many hours does it have right now?
0.
0, right? So if I put in some information, right? If I put in 9, I'm just gonna put in some random, right? 6,
15.
15 hours. That's a long day. Uh, 20. Okay, so you see automatically on the back end, I put in a formula that automatically calculates how many hours she worked in this week, right? And for this time, for this week, from the for the pay periods of 8/11/22 to 8/25/22, she worked in 55 hours, right? I didn't need to calculate that. I already put in a formula within this Excel sheet. Just by entering her hours worked, it can automatically put in and calculate the total, right? So this is a more complicated Excel sheet. But to give you guys like a simpler example, right? Why people consider let me log out of this. I don't want to save. Yeah, no, don't save. Okay. Okay, so let me just look at a, for example, a blank Excel sheet, right? Over here we have these things. What are these things called right here? Like where I'm typing in, what is it called? Anybody know?
The columns?
Close. It starts with a C. Anybody have an idea? It's called a cell, right? It's called a cell.
The cell, yeah.
Cells.
Yeah, it's called a cell.
Rows.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, so right, column, right? Column is all this, right? Rows is all this, right? These are all rows, right? So the Excel sheets are made up of columns and rows, right? But the specific one, like this one, like A1, right? It's called the cell, right? Cell A1,
Cell.
right? Cell B1, right? You see? Cell C1, cell D16, right? So okay, so why is an object really a big Excel sheet, right? So for example, I'm gonna have so I'm Nike, right? I'm gonna have a couple categories. So I'm gonna have athlete and I'm gonna have their salary, right? So these are my object, right? The athlete. So let's be more specific. Let's say athlete name, okay, and let's say his salary, okay. So within that, so this is athlete name and this is the salary. These are my two objects. Yeah. Let me expand the athlete name, okay. So right, we have the athlete name and we have his salary, right? So one of the athletes on my list is Kyrie Irving, right? This is a record. You understand? This is a record. So these are the categories, right? These two. Let me highlight them or make them bold to really hammer down this point. Because if you understand this, the idea of object is going to make sense so much easier, right? Athlete and their salary, right? And you know what? Might as well give it a color, right? Same thing, okay? So, okay, so athlete name, right? So I'm just gonna put in a couple things, right? You have Kyrie Irving, Colin Kaepernick, Kevin Durant, and put in two more. And for example, the ones that come off the top of my head, right? Okay, so these are the athletes, right? And within the athlete, within my object, right, which is athlete name, I'm gonna put in my records. These are called records, right? These are the ones that meet the criteria of that object, yeah? And then the next category I have is what? Salary, right? So this guy, I'm gonna pay him $1 million, right? This guy, I'll pay him 200,000, whatever it is, right? You guys understand what I'm doing, right? So I'm entering in records to meet that criteria, right? So that's what Salesforce is. It's a big one, right? So you have millions and millions of records, and within those records, right? Meaning objects, right? You have millions and millions of objects or records, right? Sorry, you have millions and millions of objects, and within those objects, you have thousands and thousands of records, right? So the athlete names, so far, how many records do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I have 5 records for athlete's name. Does everybody understand that or no?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Why? Because who are my athletes? Kyrie Irving, Colin Kaepernick, Kevin Durant, Rafael Nadal, and Garcia. How many records do I have for salary currently?
2.
Only 2, right? I've only entered in salary information for Kyrie Irving and Colin Kaepernick, right? The rest are empty, right? So a lot of the times what happens is that when Salesforce people or when sorry, salespeople in specific, they'll enter in hundreds and hundreds, like every day they're entering in hundreds and hundreds of leads, right? Potential new customers, right? A lot of the time they don't have the time to enter in every single record about that. So that you might see, for example, 30 records over here, but only out of those 30 records, right? Our 30 records for athlete name, only like 4 of them actually have all the information, right? Have their salary, have their location, have the time they joined, right? Because people are just putting in data, putting in context without actually entering in all the record information. And that becomes part of the admin's job and to look into to make sure that all the context and all the things have all the accurate data, has everything updated, so that it's useful data, so that when we get it back into the hands of our salespeople, they know they're not wasting time trying to figure out what's this person's number or if his address has been updated or blah blah blah, right? So that's what essentially objects are. It's a huge record base that you, as the administrator, need to make sure that it's being filled out. The data makes sense. The way it's being presented. You're not necessarily responsible for collecting the information. You're responsible for presenting the information, right? Um, so don't necessarily think about it. It's your job to necessarily collect that information. No, that's more the salesperson and their lead. It's your job to make sure that information makes sense and is organized in a way that people can make informed decisions out of it, essentially. Okay, let's go back, inshallah. I wanted to make sure that you guys understood what objects is, right? I don't think I did that last time. I introduced Excel much later on, and people were very confused as to how can you connect Excel to Salesforce when in reality it's all Salesforce is a big Excel sheet, right? It's just a huge SQL. Some of you are familiar with coding, right? SQL sheet, right? That's all. Salesforce is. It's a big SQL or Excel sheet, essentially, right? So it's a place where you can store the organization's information permanently, right? You have records and you have objects, and within those objects you have records, right? Athlete name is my object. Colin Kaepernick is my record, right? He fits that criteria. So remember, record is what fits that criteria of the object. Understand? The subject two types. Remember, I told you, you guys are not gonna get rid of standard or custom, right? The more you go through this course, the more the standard and custom is gonna keep popping up, right? Standard object is given by Salesforce. For example, account, contact, lead, opportunity, right? These are all standard. Custom, student, employee, course, trainer, product, right? Just one more time. Difference, please. Somebody can please tell the class difference between standard and custom, so that we hammer down this point.
Standard object is given by Salesforce,
Yep.
like account, contact, in all those tabs. Custom S object is created by the developer, like
So
us, for example,
exactly?
when we create student tab or anything, any tabs.
Okay, so what does the S in object stand for?
Salesforce or standard?
No, Salesforce, right? Because you have standard S object and you have custom S objects, huh? You have standard Salesforce object and you have custom Salesforce object. So now, alhamdulillah, inshallah, you guys should understand what an application is, what a tab is, and what a Salesforce object is, right? Because if we don't understand that, it's going to get confusing as we are about to develop. Does anybody have any question? Because I'm about to get into the the part that you guys have been waiting for, right? We're going to develop our ImpactTek app, okay? Any last minute questions before we develop our ImpactTek app?
Yeah, can we take a break, please?
Sure. Everybody want a break?
Yes.
What's a 10-minute or 15? What do you guys want?
Just 10 because we logged in a little late.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's fair. So inshallah, let's be back by 8:25.
I myself opened a new one.
Yeah, sorry. That's the way you should do it. See, these are all my previous accounts that I have, right? Or sorry, accounts that are still active. So this is one I actually use for my job, so I'm not gonna delete this one. This is the first ever one when I first started Salesforce, right? This is my personal email, so this is the one that it still has it, and this is the one that I used for the last course, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and delete the app from the last course to show Sister Yusuf, and then I'm gonna go ahead and create the new app with you guys. So I'm gonna go onto my old account. Oh, this, hopefully the password I remember. Oh yeah, I changed. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, now it should work. Okay. All right. So again, this I'm gonna show you what a custom app looks like and what the app that we're building is gonna look like at the end, right? So I'm gonna go on to my app launcher, and people that have taken this class previously know what I'm talking about, right? So again, this is Impact, right? So if you guys try to click on ImpactTek for the new people, you're not gonna find it, right? Because this is a custom app, right? It's an app that we created, and we're gonna create it again in this class. So when it's all done and when it's all said and done, right, you're gonna have look like something like this, right? You'll have an account with multiple tabs, right? Accounts, books, courses, instructors, right? It's gonna have a lot of information. So if I go on all, right, we're gonna have all the accounts, right? You're gonna see how much information, right? How much data. These are all records. These are everything that we inserted, right? We have created all of this from scratch. So imagine like we created all of this from scratch. None of this was created by Salesforce, right? This was all created by us. So again, this is what the app will look like towards the end, right? You'll have a lot of information. You've created your own tabs, and within those tabs, you're going to enter in your information, right? Big part of your job is going to be the reports, right? These are the remember we did these reports, Adidas reports. Okay, so this is just to give you an idea of what it will look like at the end, right? So now let's go ahead and delete it. So I'm going to go back to setup. So sister, I'm used to this is the part, inshallah.
Yes.
Then I'm gonna go to app launcher.
Yes. I'm already in there, but yes, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Sorry, app manager. Okay, so I'm gonna go into what my ImpactTek app. Everybody see my ImpactTek app? Everybody see it? Number 9, ImpactTek.
Yes.
What does it say? Everything related around ImpactTek, right?
Mhm.
Then I'm gonna go on what? Delete. That's it.
Okay. Okay. So the screen that I'm in is app
See,
launcher.
it deleted it. So see, no, that's why I was confused as to what you were asking. But yeah, I'm done now. Now if I go to app launcher, right? All the hard work that I put in, it's not there anymore, right? 'Cause I just deleted my app.
You cannot recover. There's no recovery. Once you delete it, it's gone.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. All right. So okay, everybody understand that the idea now? That makes sense.
Okay. So
And just okay for in your case, since you're not using a new account, so some of the objects that we're gonna create and stuff, you might probably most likely will already be there, right? Because you already created them. So in that case, you might just follow along with me, but you will not necessarily need to create those. You know what I'm saying? Because it's already in the database.
okay, Brother Mohammed, excuse me. Can I interrupt you for a moment?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, what I did was I went into the app launcher,
Mm-hmm.
and then it gave me a list of all my apps.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
So you went to Object Manager.
No. I went to here App Manager, and these are all the apps. Remember, my ImpactTek app was number 9, right? Then I went to what? I clicked on this, but these ones I can't. Why can I not delete these ones? Somebody tell me why I can't delete these ones. They're what type of apps?
Standard.
Yeah, they're standard apps. Okay, you can only delete custom apps, right? Because you create them, right? Obviously, if you didn't create them, you don't have the ability to delete them, right? It's pretty simple concept.
Brother
Okay.
Mohammed, I'm not finding the app manager.
Why not? Are you okay? Are you on the quick find?
Are you talking about Object Manager?
No app.
Yes, I tried that. I already tried that.
Okay, so can I understand this, please, so everyone can
Yes.
understand? All right. So what we're trying to do here, so we can follow along with you.
Yeah. So remember, I said this was the app that we're about to create, right? We created for the last class.
I got that point, but I'm confused.
So
I'm trying to
yeah. So
old Salesforce.
no. So sister. Yeah. So sister Yusuf wanted to delete her app, right? So she wanted to create a brand new app. So I should show her how you delete a custom app. That's all I did.
Yeah.
That's all I did. Yeah, that's it. Nothing else.
And now what we doing?
We're about to create a new one in 1 second. Once Sister Yusuf finished.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I don't know. You should be able to find it. Just quick find, type in App Manager, and then it should be there.
Yes, brother.
You just saw me do it, right?
Yes, I did. I did. I'm sorry. I was a little bit confused between the app, the object manager and the app manager, but I found the app manager.
Okay. Did you find your ImpactTek app?
Yes, I did. I did. I
Did
just
you?
did.
Okay, perfect. Now I'm gonna go into my new account. Okay, so let me log out of this. Okay, I'm gonna do it with you guys, right? I want everything. My new account has nothing on it, right? It's a brand new app. Sorry, it's a brand new account, just like you guys. All right, so I'm gonna go here. Okay, log in. I did this on purpose so that I can do it with you guys. Okay. I don't want you to remind me later. Okay, everybody on the screen, inshallah. This is where you need to follow along with me and do it with me, inshallah. And like Brother Ahmed was saying, if you have other monitors, that would be very helpful right now. Everybody here?
Yes.
If I don't hear any response from you guys.
Yes.
Yes. Brother, is this record? Because I don't have my laptop with me today.
It's recorded. It's recorded. Okay, so inshallah. So where you see home, right? You're gonna see this quick find. Okay. Same idea. I want you to type in App Manager. APP. And click on App Manager. Okay. All right. It should show you. It should pop up to this page. Lightning Experience App Manager. Right. We're gonna create our app in Lightning Experience. Right. And this is an interesting point, right? We're in the winter 2013 release. So they just released a new version of Salesforce, right? I told you every year they have a winter version, spring version, and a summer version. So they just are getting out of their summer version. So if you've done this class like maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, we would still been in the summer version, right? So they just released their winter version, okay? So again, not much difference between the summer version, just a little minute detail here and there. If you're a developer, you might notice it. If you're not, you're probably not going to notice it. Like, I'll be honest, I probably won't even notice any difference, right? So we're going to click on New Lightning App, okay? Go ahead and click on that. All right, everybody here, inshallah?
Yes. Brother Muhammad, can you make your screen bigger, please?
Uh,
Is it possible?
it is, yeah, but it's pretty big. I mean, it's at 100. I don't. Can everybody see my screen? See, it's at 100. Can anybody
Yeah.
see? Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Try like
Yes.
25.
Okay, I think that's okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. So now over here, we're gonna type. Then we're gonna name our app ImpactTek. Okay. So Impact.
Sorry, what did you click again?
Yeah.
On the
Yeah.
new
No
Lightning
problem.
app?
No problem. Yeah. Okay. So let me cancel. So once I continue. So once I click on App Manager, I'm going to be on this page. Then I'm going to click on New Lightning App. Okay. And it's going to bring me to this page. Did it work for you, sister? Did you get it?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm with you. Thank you.
Again, please, feel free to stop me because this is the important part, right? We're doing the actual work, right? All right. So now I'm going to type in ImpactTek. Okay. Okay. Enter developer name. It's going to automatically type in ImpactTek, right? Because the developer, the company of the development is ImpactTek, right? Over here, we're going to type in a description. So you can say everything related, everything related to Impact Tech from you can even give it as much or as little detail as you want, right? From employees, instructors, or sorry, such as employees, instructors, courses, fees, etc. Right? Awesome. Okay. Now here's the interesting part, right? Here's where your graphical design skills come in, right? Not really, but you get to customize the app the way you want it to look, right? So you give it its logo. So Alhamdulillah, if you go to Google, right, Google Images, you can type in ImpactTek, right? Right, and the first one that should pop up is Brother Ahmed's company, right? And click on images. So ImpactTek IT, so ImpactTek IT. Or type maybe ImpactTek, I remember, nonprofit.
ImpactTek logo is will.
Sorry?
If you just type ImpactTek logo, it will appear.
Okay. Inshallah. Thank you. ImpactTek logo. Hmm. Oh, okay. Or let's see.
Brother Muhammad, how do you get to Google from the Lightning app? Which app?
No, I didn't get it from Lightning app. I went on a different tab.
Okay.
Oh, so he changed it. Okay. No wonder he changed the logo on me. You see? He changed his page. He didn't even tell me. That's why I can't find it. He changed it. You see the new design? Oh, I also talked to Brother Ahmed about this. He changed the logo. Okay, so yeah, I think okay.
I think we can still use the old one.
Yeah, we can use the old one. I'm trying to find it though. Let me see if I can use that one on the website. But if we can't find you can just really use any picture, right? So yeah. So I think we can use this one, right? So go ahead and right click it. So what I did essentially was I typed in ImpactTek on Google, right? I typed in ImpactTek, then I clicked on the first thing that showed up, which is impacttech.org. Then I right clicked on the logo, save image as. So I'm going to save it into my computer under my pictures. So I'm just going to type in logo. Right? So it should be saved, right? So this is the ImpactTek logo, the new one that he never told me about. And then click on upload. Go into my pictures. And you see it right here, right? You see the ImpactTek. And it should take like less than 30 seconds to upload it. So far, so good?
Oh, just a moment, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Brother Muhammad,
Yes.
he didn't change it. It's there. I just put ImpactTek logo. It appears. It's there.
It's the one, right? You see on my screen, right? That one, right?
No, not the other one.
No, he changed it. Because like I went to his website before. It used to be different.
Yeah. I find the old one that we.
Oh, you found? Oh no, I couldn't find the old one. You could use that one. You can.
Both of them are here. Both of them are here.
You could use whichever one. It doesn't really matter, inshallah.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because even on the WhatsApp group, right, that he has, it's still the old one. So he must have recently just changed the one on the website. Okay, everybody on that part so far?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so now here's the part where you can customize a little bit, right? So you can use the app's image and color instead of the organization's custom theme, right? So you can use this as the color and image, or you can mess around with it, right? And use a different one, right? And this will show on the application, right? If you download Salesforce and you use it through the phone, this is where it will show, right? It's not going to show on the computer version. It's going to show on the actual application, which is on the phone, right? So whichever one. Me personally, I think I'm just going to go with this and this. Use the app's image color instead of the custom theme, okay? So again, this is based on your criteria, based on how you want the app to look. And again, the nice thing about it is you can always change it, right? So most times when people develop apps, They're going to develop 3, 4 different versions of them, right? They're going to show the company, the client, the various apps, and whichever one is to the company's liking is the one that they're going to release on production, right? So you essentially what I'm saying is you're going to have a lot of trial and error. So once that's done, inshallah, go ahead and click next. Okay, over here, essentially saying where do you want to use it, right? You want to be able to use it on your desktop, yeah, on your phone, only on your desktop or only on your phone. So just keep the settings as is. So keep desktop and phone, standard navigation, right? Setup, yep, for all options. So keep everything the same, right? And don't do anything with any of this stuff, right? Just go ahead and click next. Okay, the utility bar, right? So this is the stuff that's gonna the various tabs that you want, right? So currently we don't have any tabs, so we're just gonna keep it the same, right? Great, next. Okay, and now over here, this is the one, right? These are all what? Currently, are these all custom objects or standard objects?
Standard.
Standard, right? Why?
We haven't created anything yet.
Exactly, right? But Salesforce is nice enough to allow us, right, to maybe put something, to start with, right? If we want to, right? So, for example, right, account is probably one of the most common tabs that any company is going to use, right? They're going to have a link to their various clients, right? The information to their accounts, stuff like that. So, right. So go ahead and just select account, and everything else we'll create ourselves. So, what this means, right? This is important, right? This is called available items. So these are all the things that are available currently that you can put on your app, right? That you can customize in your app. So you can put alert settings, all sites, app launcher, whatever you want, whatever is on here, you can put, and you have no limit, right? And then once we start creating some of the custom ones, they'll appear as well, right? So you select on the one that you want and you drag it over essentially, and boom, now it's going to be on your app, okay? And click next.
Brother Mohammed, I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you set up anything step 2, or everything was just left the way it was in step 2? Because my screen just went a little bit too fast.
No problem. Let me go back.
So we didn't do anything in the step 2, right?
This one, sir? This one?
We didn't think we kept everything the same. We just click next.
Okay.
Yeah. We kept everything as is. Essentially what I was saying with this is like, do you want this application for your desktop only? Or do you want it for your phone, right? Or you want it for both? Okay. So the options they give already, or the standard default options is what we want anyway, so we don't need to change anything.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. Thank you.
All right, so back next. Okay, so over here again, I just selected accounts, and everything else I don't believe I need at the moment. And again, I can always go back, right? I can always edit it. And if I feel like, 3 days from now, I feel like I should have budgets as a tab, right? I can always click on budgets and move it over there, right? And 5 days later, no, I don't think I actually need budgets, right? Boom, I can just put it back to available items, right? So go from available items to selected items, right? When they go from available to selected, meaning that they're going to show up on your application. That's all it means, okay?
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Go ahead and click next. Okay, so here, okay, user profiles. Choose the user profile that can access this app, right? So who do you want to be able to access this app? And this is important. So, like for example, in the pre-production section, which we're pretty much doing, right? So you're not gonna have to do this in real life, right? I'm only showing you how to do this to give you an idea of how Salesforce works on a day-to-day basis, right? Usually who's going to do this? The developer, right? The developer, and they're going to do a more intensive version of, we're doing a very simple one. The one that Salesforce allows us to do is really simple, right? The developer one is going to, obviously they're going to have more features. It's going to take more coding, all that stuff, right? So for somebody who doesn't know code, who just wants to have a simple one, this works. It's perfectly, right? But who do we want to grant access to? Does anybody remember?
System administrator.
Good. Always the system administrator, right? So currently, especially when we're in production, we just want system administrator to have access and nobody else. So you see system administrator, scroll down all the way to system administrator, and boom, click on selected profiles, right? So move it from available profiles to selected profiles, right? And then click save and finish. And then your app will be created, okay? So alhamdulillah, you've officially created your first app. Now, how would I go and check to see where my app is? Does anybody remember?
We go to App Launcher.
App Launcher, yep. And then over here, right, I can go on View All, or I can type it by its name, right? So what was the name of my app?
ImpactTek.
ImpactTek, okay? You see? I just created my app. You see the logo, the account. Well, currently, everything is empty, right? Because I haven't entered in any information, nothing, right? So these are all the accounts. Again, are these standard accounts or custom accounts?
Standard.
Standard, right? The one Salesforce allows you to play with, right? So we're gonna inshallah create some. We'll create one object today, but has everybody been able to at least get to this part before I move on?
So in my accounts, I have the account that I created before, but
Yeah. But I thought you deleted it.
I know we just created a new app and it's still showing up 5 items.
How's it? No, no, no. So you created a new ImpactTek app and it's showing up 5 items.
Yes.
Did you add those 5 items?
No, I haven't. No.
So I don't know how can it show up 5 items.
I don't know.
So that was my question to you earlier. Does Salesforce remember you anyhow?
Yeah, no. So the application, it should be deleted, but the objects are not going to get deleted, right? Because unless you delete the object one-on-one by themselves, they're not going to get deleted, right?
Got it.
For
Does that
me,
make sense?
I create new email and I sign up and it was fine.
Yeah. That's okay. Because if you want to create a brand new object from scratch that we've never created before, the best way to do it is to use a new account.
So
But it's fine. Either way.
I followed you. I'm with you on the same page.
Uh-huh.
I don't know about the rest, Nadir and
Yes. Everybody by the Nadir, Sister Nadia.
Brother Muhammad, the options that we have are my accounts, all accounts, and recently viewed accounts. So we should be on all
Yeah.
accounts, right?
Currently, it doesn't matter, right? Right now, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But yeah, in the future, yes. So right now, if you were following what I'm doing, your app should look like this. Is what I'm saying. Like if you follow what I did step for step, it should look something like this, right? You should have your logo, and you should only have an account tab, nothing else, right?
All right.
So, Brother Nadir, everything good so far?
Brother Muhammad, are you going to
Yes.
release the video soon? I don't have my laptop today with me, so I would like to be doing it before next class. If you go
Okay, I will.
Inshallah, Jazakallah. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Cool. What about Brother Nadir? I'm not hearing from you. Are you there?
Nadia, she answered. She said yes. She answered.
No,
all.
Nadir, brother Nadir.
Oh, Nadir, he's not answering. So maybe he has.
I'm here with you guys. I'm sorry.
So are you with us? Yours look like mine?
Yes.
Yours look like this?
Yes.
All right, alhamdulillah. Okay, so everybody should look like this, okay? So let's create a custom object, okay? So let's think about it. So we have an account, right? We have an application that's called ImpactTek, okay? What are some important information we need to collect, or you think ImpactTek needs to collect? What would you think is some important information ImpactTek needs to collect?
Contacts.
Contacts, sure. What else?
Student information.
Student information, right? So we should create an object called what?
Students.
Students. Let's do it, inshallah. All right. So go ahead and click on setup. Okay. Inshallah, make sure everybody's following along. Click on Object Manager. So anytime you want to create a new object, which is going to be a tab, right? Again, what's the difference between an object and a tab? What's the only difference?
Tab are plurals.
Yeah, tab is plural and object is
Singular.
singular. That's it. Okay, so we're going to click on Object Manager, inshallah. We're going to type in student. Should it appear or no? Will student appear?
No, normally no.
No, right? Why did it not appear for me?
We haven't created.
Exactly, right? Sometimes I'll try to trick you like that, okay? So go ahead and click on Create Custom Object, right? And here is why I showed you Excel earlier, right? So if I had, for example, right, before you do that, if I had an Excel sheet, right, and I wanted, for example, athlete name, right, and I had, let's say, 1 billion, or let's say I had 70 athletes, right? I had all this filled out. What I could have done, instead of doing it individually, is save this set, clicked on create. Instead of creating a custom object, I would have clicked on this, create object from a spreadsheet. And all the information that I had on that spreadsheet would have automatically transferred over to Salesforce and saved me so much time, right? But since I don't have that, I have to create it from scratch, right? So I'm going to click on custom object.
I'm sorry, brother Muhammad. Can you repeat that again?
Yes, inshallah. So if I go back, right? If I say like what companies usually do, right? A lot of people put their information on an Excel sheet, right?
Yes.
So if I had, let's say I had 150 records about athlete names on my Excel sheet, right? And I wanted to just all at once, right? Download that into Salesforce. What I would do is instead of click on create a custom object myself, I would create a custom object from a spreadsheet, download the spreadsheet, and it'll automatically create it for me. You know what I mean?
See, I see.
Instead of going through the navigation steps and creating it one by one by one. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So inshallah, like we once we become more advanced, we can I'll show you how that works as well. So, but we don't have any of that information, right? So we have to do it. We have to do it the old school way. Click on custom object, inshallah. All right. What was the name of the object I wanted to create?
I think students.
Yep. All right.
Can you give me 1 second, please? Nadia, her speaker and mic is not working. She said, please, can you go one step back?
Yes. Yep. Where does she want?
Just one step back.
Okay. Is she on here? Object Manager?
Let me find out.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So under Object Manager, click on Create, and then Custom Object. Okay. And that's where I was. Good to go, inshallah?
Inshallah.
All right. So the label, so the label is student, right? So what's the plural for student? What's the plural for student? Come on. It gives you an example. Students, right? It gives you an example right here. Accounts, right? That's so student. Okay. So over here, information about students of ImpactTek, right? Students of ImpactTek. Okay, awesome. And now I would select this if the first letter started with a vowel, right? So what's a vowel? What are the vowels in the English alphabet?
A-E-I-O-U.
Yeah, right. back to kindergarten, right? Inshallah. A-E-I-O-U. So, like for example, if I created something with account, right? Would I select this then? If this was account instead of student, would I select this?
No.
Why not? If it was account instead of student.
Because it didn't start with a vowel. Oh, well, account, yes.
Yeah, account it would, right?
Yes.
But since student is not a A-E-I-O-U, I leave it blank, okay? I just want to make sure everybody understands that, okay? All right. Yeah.
We I'm sorry. I'm
No, you're fine.
trying
You're
to
fine.
also
You're
read the
fine.
text. And on the chat, she puts, she's stuck at somewhere, but you can read the chat. And then, sorry, we don't understand the last part you explained.
Yeah. So over here it says starts with a vowel sound, right? You see how this, you know what a vowel is, right? A, E, I, O, U, right? Those
Yes.
five letters in
Uh-huh.
the English alphabet. So is S, A, E, I, O, U? Does S start with A, E, I, O, U?
No.
No.
No, right? But if, for example, if my object was called account, would I select this?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yes.
because why? It starts with a what?
with a vowel.
Yes, that's it. That's all it says, pretty much. Okay, let me go ahead and read what you said on this chat. I added a budget object. It does not appear. How can wait, what? The budget? I thought I added a budget object. It does not appear. How can I go back to add the budget tab? Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we can do that at the end. Inshallah. Okay. So we have student, right? So I'm gonna put in the description information about students of ImpactTek. Eh? All right, great. And student name. And over here, optional feature, allow reports, allow activities. Yeah. So if you want to allow reports on this object, like for example, how many students I have in the month of February versus in April? Like, did I grow the amount of students? Did I lose students? Right? Are more students re-enrolling? Right? Like, are students enrolling in multiple courses? Right? So then I would select allow reports. Right? Allow activities, track field history. Right? So essentially, I want to allow all of this stuff. Right? So I'm going to check off all this. And okay, this is the important part over here. Always click on this. Launch custom tab wizard after saving this object. So that means right away it's gonna go. You're gonna see a tab in your ImpactTek application with student, right? Because if you click like this, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. What about allow search? Do you want to check that off? Allow search?
Yeah, when this setting is enabled, your users can find this object tab when they search. Yeah, you can. I mean, yeah, sure. It doesn't hurt, right? But this is the important part, right? So if you click this, this pretty much just saves you a step in the back end, right? Because if I don't click this and I create this object, it's not going to automatically appear in my ImpactTek app, right? But if I click this, it will automatically appear. So that's the only difference. Again, does that make sense or no?
So basically, you said by checking this box, which is launch new custom tab, is going to create the S object and the tab in one step rather than doing it in two separate
Yeah,
steps.
yeah, mashallah, you said it better than I did. Yeah, exactly, right? That's all it is. Yeah. All right.
Can you say it one more time, please?
Yeah, sister, go ahead, say it again. She explained it better than me. Go ahead.
So basically, what we're doing is we're also creating a tab at the same time we're creating the object. By checking off this box, we're creating the object and the tab. If we
Okay.
don't check it and we miss it, then we have to go back and start creating the steps, follow the steps for creating a tab.
Okay.
By doing
Right.
this here,
Yeah.
by checking off the launch new custom tab, we're going to create the S object and we're going to create the tab in one
Gotcha.
step.
All right. So, can you go a little bit up, please?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
More?
Here, perfect.
Uh-huh. Did you have a question on this or?
Wanted to see where you put the check mark.
Yeah, so on allow reports, activities, track fields. Again, these are all like, so you can create a report, right? If your boss comes to you and asks you, can you give me a report on the amount of students we've had in February versus the amount of students we have in March, right? Or in June? How much has it increased by, right? So if you click on allow reports, you can easily access those reports. That's all it is. So that
And
makes it
now, a
easier.
little down. If you can scroll a little down now, please.
Yep. More, or is that good?
Perfect. Yeah, now you can finish. Thank you.
Perfect. Uh-huh. So inshallah, everybody should be here. And I'm going to click on save, okay?
So just to go back on that, if we click save and new, then we're not going to get the tab. Just so everybody
Why
knows.
not?
Because then you're going to, well, no, you're going to have to enter a new object. I think you're going to have to create a new object.
No, so yeah, you will still, yeah, exactly, but you'll still get the tab though, right? You'll just have to, you'll create another one, right? Save and new means you want to create another tab, right?
Right.
Or
Okay.
another object, pretty much, which we'll do inshallah. Obviously, we're gonna create tons of objects, right? So yeah, so now again, gives you the opposite opportunity to customize it. How do you want it to look, right? So the object is student, right? How do you want it? You have different options, right? You have airplane, you have books, you have different colors, so you can pick whatever you want. I'm just gonna pick. I like the camera color, so I'm gonna click on that and enter a short description. So over here, this description, right? This one, only you as the end user, sorry, as the developer or as the system administrator will be able to see. So you can say this is student tab information. Okay, so this will not be accessible to the end user, right? The other description will be, not this one, right? Remember there was a description in the previous one we did? That will be available to the end user, not this, okay? And go ahead and click next. All right. So go ahead and click this one. And
Please slow down.
yeah.
Thank
No
you.
problem. Sorry, are you on this one?
Yes, I'm there.
Yep. So all I did, remember this one? All it is um accessible to the end user, sorry, to the developer or the system administrator, right? The person using this app, like the end user, is not going to see this, right? So this is just going to give you some information about, say you have like hundreds and hundreds of tabs, right? And you forget why you created a student tab to begin with, right? So if you put down this information, you can always just track it back. Okay, I created it so I can keep track of all the students that are in ImpactTek, right? So it's just for you to have in your records, essentially, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, inshallah. So yeah, then all I did was click next. Okay, so now over here, these are the various users within your Salesforce systems. So now, who do you want to have access to? The what?
System.
Yeah. So for this one, honestly, this is the first one. You can have click back on this one. Apply one tab visibility to all profiles. So that's fine. So everybody can see it, right? So this one is fine. So just keep it as is. So keep this one as is. And then go ahead and click next. Okay, it says default on. Yeah. Default on. Yep.
Brother,
Click
Tom,
next.
I have a question.
Yep.
So if we only give access to system admin, then we leave this step alone. Like to all profiles, only system admin will see it because that's who we selected, right?
Yeah. So that's fine. I don't have a problem with people seeing it. Usually it's people who can access it or people that can mess around with it, right? So the first one is fine. Anybody can see it, right? Anybody in the organization, unless they tell you otherwise, right? Unless they say, we only want X and Y to see it, and not Z and B and Z can't see it, but X and Y can see it, right? So they'll lay out the criteria. So that's fine, right?
So my question was, when we were creating the app, we only selected system administrator, and then if we leave
that was no. That was who can play around with it, mess around with it.
Okay, who can edit it?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but in this scenario, we left it alone, right? We did not select anybody.
Yeah, so this is who can see it. They can't. These people can't do anything with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They can't mess around with it. They can just see it.
Why is there an error?
No, because I left it blank initially. I left it like this. So you just want to click on default on.
Okay.
Yeah, click next. Yeah, now here's the one. Who do you want to be able to mess around with it?
System administrator.
Exactly. So Select all, unselect, and then find system administrator.
Wait, no, these are apps. There's no system administrator here.
Yes, yeah, no, you're right. You're okay. Yep, you're right. Sorry. Choose the custom apps for which. Yes, okay. So choose the custom apps for which the new custom will be available. So where do you want this app to be available right now? And where? Yeah, ImpactTek. Yep. And then click save. Sorry. Yep. Yep.
So the system admin was on the previous page.
Yeah. So let's go back actually. So we'll click default off, or sorry, apply a different visibility for each.
Okay.
Yep. And then now.
So it's so now we're going back and we're changing it, correct?
Correct. Yep. Go back, and then everybody else should have default off except for system admin.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. So far, so good then.
Yes. And then we
Okay.
select ImpactTek.
Yep. Next, and then we went on our ImpactTek apps. Yep. And then click save. Yep. Go ahead.
Did you have to go individually and do off each one?
Mm-mm. Right. What did I do? I did what? Click one tab availability for all, right? And what did I want? I wanted default off, sir. So currently everybody's off, right? Now I'm going to click on apply a different tab visibility for each profile. So automatically each profile is off, right? Based on what I just did. Then I'm going to scroll down all the systems.
That guy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. That's it. Next. And then again, I just want ImpactTek, or I just want this tab on ImpactTek, and I'm gonna click save, sir. Good. Inshallah, tomorrow we'll talk about fields and relationships and all that stuff. So not tomorrow, on Saturday. But now let's go back to our app, right? And what do you guys see? Does everybody see the student tabs on theirs? Everybody see student on theirs? Guys, come on.
I see on mine.
Anybody not see it on theirs?
I see.
Yeah, everybody should, right? Because we clicked on ImpactTek, right? And we clicked the wizard one, right? We selected the default wizard one, so right away. So that's why we did those two steps. Eh? All right. So now, inshallah.
I don't see.
Sorry.
I don't see the student tab.
Did you click on? You're the one that noticed it. Did you click on the student one? On the ImpactTek? Did you select ImpactTek for the last step?
Yes, I'm in the app, ImpactTek. The only tab I see is accounts.
Oh, there's another way to do it too. So okay, so for example, that didn't work for you, right? Now we can go back to what the sister was asking as well. So we can go to setup. This is the last thing, inshallah, we'll do for today. Back to app launcher, app manager. Sorry. So go to setup. Under the home, type in.
1 second, please. Nadia, this is for you also, if you're here.
So okay,
now we follow it.
Yeah. App launcher.
So yeah, so go to home. Click on app. Type in app.
Okay.
It should take you to app manager, sir.
Yes.
Okay. You go to your ImpactTek. See, you have the option to delete it, or you have the option to edit it, right? So we're gonna click on edit. Okay.
Okay, just one moment, please. Let me find it. Here we go. Edit it. Okay.
Yep. And then I want you guys to click on navigation items, right? You see all these on the left side of your screen. Click on navigation items. Okay. And remember, now you should be able to find for you. You should be able to find students, right? If you type in students, you should be able to find it, right?
Yes, it's there. Yes.
Okay, and then just select it over to from available items to select it. Okay. And now what the sister was saying, she wanted budgets, right? So just type in budgets. That's it. Same thing, right?
Muhammad, it's already in selected items, but I don't know why it didn't show up.
So maybe just refresh the page then. So yeah, so then for the sister, right? You click on budget and then
No,
click
for
save.
Nadia, the opposite. She selected budget. Now she has to unselect it.
Oh, okay. So that's fine, right? So if I want to unselect it, right, I would click on budgets, and then I'll click this button, and it will move from selected items to available items, right? And same thing. Say I don't want accounts anymore. I only want my custom apps, or sorry, my custom objects. So I'm gonna do the same thing with accounts, and I'm gonna move it back, okay? And I'm gonna click save. So the only thing I should have is students, right? That's the only tab I should have, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna click save. One more time. I'm gonna click here. All right. Click here. Find my ImpactTek. So yeah, currently it's still showing this, but if I let me refresh the page. Sometimes it takes a minute, right? Yeah. So what do I have? What's the only tab I have right now?
Students.
Yeah. See, that's it. Inshallah, everybody understand?
Inshallah.
Yes.
All right. So inshallah, for homework, what I want everybody to do is inshallah create a tab. Same for professors, right? So for professors, to do the same thing we did with students, but name a professor. So
Professor.
yes, or instructor. Sorry, instructor. You could name it instructor. Instructor.
Okay.
All right. So inshallah, and then on Saturday we're going to learn about fields. So the various categories within the tabs, right, and how you create those, as well as how you could input data into those. Does
Okay.
anybody have any questions?
And then if some people who needs the recording, should we reach out to you or reach out to Ahmed?
Okay, so I uploaded it for some reason. Initially the link he gave me, right, didn't allow me to upload it, but then I uploaded it, right?
Okay.
And it didn't upload, so I don't know what's going on. So I'm gonna upload the first one, and then I'll upload today's as well.